Have you ever heard that one food from Bali that creates a huge debate on people once they know what's the ingredients inside it? Some of you might look at it and think, wait, what is that? Or maybe like, ew, and so many other things you could say. Can you take a guess what's the name? Yes, you're right, that's called as Lawar Plek. Now, most people see the red color and run away, but if you stop there, you are missing the real story. This isn't just a unique dish for tourists to try as a challenge, but this is one of the most ancient, misunderstood, and sacred parts of Balinese culture. In this video, we're going to look past the shock factors and we're going to talk about the history why it makes that specific sound like plek and why this dish is actually a symbol of spiritual bravery in Bali. So, get comfortable and let's talk about what makes this dish is so special. First, before we talk about the blood, we have to understand what lawar actually is. In Bali, lawar isn't just one single dish. It is actually a method of mixing minced meat, fresh vegetables, and a complex blend of spices that has been passed down through generations. Of course, it's incredibly diverse. You can categorize it by the meat like lawar caleng from pork, lawar sampi from beef, or lawar siap from the chicken. Or you can also categorize it by the vegetables by using young coconut, long beans, or even young papaya. But the most important distinction is the color that is divided by two types of color. That is the first one, white lawar, and the second one is red lawar. White lawar uses cooked meat and coconut, but red lawar or lawar barak, that is where things get controversial, or that is where we find lawar plek. So why do we use fresh blood and raw meat? Is it just flavor? No, that actually goes back 100 years, where the historians had estimate this tradition appeared for around like 1284 AD, and this time was a time after the Javanese king Kertanegara from Singasari conquered Bali. With this influence came the Bhairava sect. They were worshippers of Bhairavi, the feminine aspect of the deity. To honor this energy, they performed a ritual called yajna or sacrifice. Also, this involved a ceremony known as sambleh, which utilized fresh meat and blood as an offering. So, originally, Lawar Plek wasn't just a dinner. It was, and still is, closely tied to religious rituals, where it evolved from these ancient spiritual practices to become an integral part of our social life today. Now, just let's talk about the taste because despite what you might think about the ingredients, the flavor is also incredible. The secret lies in the spice blend where it uses grated coconut, red chili, red onions, kaffir lime leaves, and a secret mix of traditional spices. In Balinese philosophy, this isn't just throwing things into a bowl. It also represents the balance and the unity. And the raw meat blends with the fresh vegetables to create a complex texture. The spices like chili and lime leaves symbolize the diversity of Balinese culture coming together in one plate. The preparation requires generational expertise, where you cannot just guess the measurements and it has to be precise to create that unique flavor harmony that Lawar Plek is famous for. And finally, there is the social aspect, where you rarely make Lawar Plek alone. It is a symbol of togetherness where it's usually served during big traditional ceremonies or important celebration. For Balinese people, Lawar Plek is a living cultural expression where it's a medium to preserve the tradition and express harmony through the art of cooking. Also, it is a cultural narrative served on a plate. So, that is the comprehensive story of Lawar Plek. We started by looking at it as something maybe shocking or controversial, but as we dug deeper, we realized that behind that bright red color also lies the centuries of history, philosophy, and community spirit. This dish also proves that traditional food is never just about the taste, also, it is a vessel for culture. Lawar Plek is a living symbol of how the Balinese people maintain the balance between the ingredients, between people, between the spiritual and also the physical worlds. By understanding the story behind the food, we are not just learning a recipe, we are also preserving a cultural narrative that has survived for generations. So, I hope this presentation has given you a new perspective on the richness of Balinese culinary heritage. And thank you so much for watching my video. Bye bye!